Welcome to another episode of the Sankofa Exchange. This is Thomas Calhoun.
I'm Jamario Walker.
And this week on the Sankofa Exchange, we're going to discuss uh, what's hot in the streets, Nike and Killer Mike. We're going to discuss plug items, Boeing, uh, Peloton, and what's the other one, Jamario? Tilray.
Shopify's on there also.
Tilray.
Yeah.
Tilray. I think Shopify, we're going to discuss that in receipts.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because Shopify stole some money from me last week. I want it back. So actually, Shopify can go on both because I think it came back down to a level that it's going to bounce off here starting this weekend. So let's get busy, man.
Let's get it. Hot in the streets. See what we got, my man.
Hot in these streets, man. All right. Killer Mike raises and crew raised $40 million Series A, and they didn't even launch the platform in January because they had so much demand, which is probably why they raised $40 million and jumped to a Series A.
I'm on a wait list too.
As am I believe.
Yeah.
So, the point I wanted to make here is I don't even know if it's a point, really. It's a question, as much as it is a question. Jamario, help me understand this. The goal here is to bank black, right? For black people to bank black, right?
And to help the underbanked.
Right, and help the underbanked, right? But black banking and community bank, black banking is blacks banking black, right?
Yeah.
Right, is a big deal. What I found really interesting is that some of the largest investors are Wells Fargo, Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So
wow.
I'm almost this is not a criticism. Congratulations. They did that. Some mobile banking. I get it. I'm with it. There's another thing I want to bring up really fast. I interviewed Ashina Allen, who also has a mobile bank, and I think she's the youngest black woman to have, at least in America, if not the world, to have a completely mobile bank.
Wow.
And I interviewed her on Truth Be Told. You can go follow us at Truth Be Told on IG, or you can go to the Own Your Masters YouTube page, which will be in the link in the link section in the description. So, and you can watch that interview. Dope interview. She's sharp, super sharp. And she's also based in Atlanta. So I just also found that kind of curious because, I think sometimes one of the things that I wish some of the rappers or some of the entertainers that are making, hella money and can get access to any opportunities would do is to identify, other businesses that are already in the space of other black people and be investors and then leverage their name for somebody else to come up, not just keep building their own wealth. Because Killer Mike can get, because of his popularity, he can build it for himself. And I'm not knocking him because he's one of our allies for sure, and I love what he's doing. I'm just saying sometimes I wish that the funds would flow into people who are already working on ideas instead of us competing and knocking each other out.
Yeah.
So that's an aside. But the main question I wanted to ask is, is it, and I want you to opine on this, J-Dub, is it even possible to be a 100% owned black bank or black anything and be a conglomerate? Can you scale anything in America given where our wealth is? It just raised that question for me. You know what I'm saying? They pound the table, we're gonna bank black, we're gonna do this, and then I look at who owns it, who invested in it, and I don't know how much they own.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't know what valuation that 40 million came in at, and I don't know, how much, and therefore I don't know how much equity they gave up. So they could still own 90%, and that would be amazing. But I'm just really curious. What are your thoughts?
That's a good question, man. I almost see it like those big banks are kind of like the gatekeepers for this industry. Maybe he had to, get the buy-in from those big banks to make it viable. I forget the name of his partner also that helped him with this whole initiative.
Andrew Young
Yeah.
and this other guy's another guy too. Um,
Yeah,
I'll look up his name.
the banking industry is it's not your typical industry, man.
It's a lot of regulation,
Yeah, you can't just
stuff like
start a
that.
bank. Like what happened to
Nah.
back in the day when the Rush card. What was that whole?
Yeah, we talked about that on that episode with Sheena Allen. Uh, I don't remember what happened to the rush card, but I mean, it's pretty clear that none of us are using it. So, um,
Because he
ultimately,
tried to help the underbanked. Also, I thought she was trying to do that.
yeah, yeah, he was really early in that. He was definitely a visionary in that space. Yeah, so maybe in the comments, you guys, you can reach out to us and help us figure out, um, tell us what you think. If it makes, obviously it makes sense. They're in the game, and like Jay-Z was saying, you're now in the game. Only time can tell.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens, but it just definitely raised an eyebrow.
man. I'm with you, Killer Mike. I'm with you.
Richie, no doubt, me too. All right, China setting the world on fire. At least Nike. Nike conveniently, quote unquote, has decided to, not do business with Xinjiang, right?
Sounds right.
And sound about right. Did I get that right? Because they have forced labor. And so Nike has entered, I guess, the social enterprise game somehow. And not a moment too soon, because guess what happens on March 26th? Tell us, J-Mo.
Air Max Day, baby.
Next slide. What we got here?
Look at
Boom!
that.
Just in time for Nike to drop a new Air Pegasus dope shoe. You'll probably see me with that one. I'm just really convinced at this point that they decided to do this just in time for a new release that came on Thursday and Air Max Day that came on Friday. And let's take a look at the stock, see what happened. Look at this. Boom. Pretty much dead all week. It's been dead for a couple of weeks. It jumped up. They released this. It's been pretty much in the last 7 trading days. Look at that. It set a base there. And then look, it set a new base. It jumped up and then set another base and then released some news. And they're off and running. I don't mind saying it's a little convenient.
I think I'm starting to buy that. I think I'm starting to buy that from you too.
Look at that. I mean, the stock was dead in the water. It wasn't doing anything. So, and I feel like this drop over here was earnings.
Yeah, this here.
This big gap, the big gap that day. I think that was when they announced earnings.
Yeah,
because they are saying that they had a supply issue because of importing. So their supply chain issue, and then the stock dropped. So it set a base, jumped up, set a new base, and they said, you know what? I got something for you. We're gonna light China up. China lit them up.
Do you think that whole blockade is hurting those guys, man, at Suez Canal?
For sure.
Yeah.
Clearly. I mean, that's just hurting everybody. That's why don't worry about OIM. We fly all ours in. Thank you very much. And that's it for what's hot in the streets.
I like it, man. I like it.